and welcome back. This is going to be a really short video. Obviously, you'd have watched the fact that Lee has just bought a new car. I've got two mics on, don't need two mics. So Lee is just going to go through the OBD2 scanner and see what faults we've got. And we don't normally condone just deleting them, but because of the history of the car, the guy didn't really know what he was talking about.
Yeah, he was a bit wavy as to what he knew was wrong with the car.
Yeah.
Information he was giving us. I mean, with a car like this, you pay £1,100 for a reasonable high-end car that's fairly old. You're going to expect some issues.
Yeah.
You know, you can't expect everything to be gospel. You're buying it as it is.
We don't know if people have unplugged stuff and he's not got the equipment to clear it. So
yeah, I mentioned in the previous video.
N53.
Yeah, the engine code. Just found out it's an N53. That's come up on the screen.
Though.
No, nor did I. Maybe it's a 330 then. And it's got a 2.5 bonnet, bad boot on it.
Logbook.
Yeah. Unless they're 2.5s and got 3-litre engines.
Maybe. Don't know. We don't know.
Wow.
So I think what the plan is clear the fault codes or do a full code scan and then clear them and then see what comes back after driving it or what doesn't clear.
Yeah.
So we know what's static fault and what is a intermittent fault and what may be something to do with what somebody is unplugged, low battery, all that sort of jazz. So I'm going to turn you around now. So just running through it now. It does take a while.
You see there's 12 codes in the engine control unit already. We were aware of these before filming this video. So yeah, it hasn't come to us as a surprise to us. We did check it when going to look at the car. ABS has got 5 codes in it. Airbag's got 1. Air conditioning, there isn't one in that, which is good. The electronic fuel pump, no codes. That's always good. The immobiliser's got 1 code. Footwell module, gateway. So these are all different control units that are installed in the car. And obviously we'll go through them further down. So this is now in the engine control unit. Scrolling down, it's giving us a list of the codes at present. So electric water pump, I believe that's an auxiliary water pump on these engines. So you have the main water pump that's driven by the engine, and I think there's an electric auxiliary one which is in another place on the cooling system circuit. Fuel pump, there was a fuel pump one there, wasn't there? Yeah, fuel pump portability. So we've got an inkling as to what may be causing the fuel gauge issue. After a bit of a Google, we have found that they do suffer with some wiring issues in the rear right wheel arch. So we'll be checking that wiring. I more than likely suspect on another video.
Oh, go back up. So to the airbag, yeah, leave it on that one.
Yeah.
So vehicle speed. Oh, you can't see it when you click on it on the screen. There you go.
Right.
So it has got airbag light on.
Yeah.
And if it can't see so obviously you've got a wheel speed sensor fault on there as well.
Yeah. The wheel direction, front, right, and left. Oops. It's still moving its way down because it's still getting more codes from other control modules as we're looking at it. So there we are. Wheel direction, front, right. So you can't see the front right wheel speed or the rear left. Wheel speed sensor, rear left start recognition, voltage comparison. So that's telling me it's not seeing the voltage it wants to see come back to the ABS control unit when it's doing the self-check.
Yeah.
So it might be that there's a wiring issue on those speed sensors, or the speed sensor itself may be kaput, or hopefully not. There may be an issue with the ABS control unit, but I'd highly suspect that won't be the case.
Yeah, no, you'll have to. I'd think everything fault on that.
Yeah. Right, so hopefully that's near the end of its.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, which it is. So now
press the save button at the top right.
If I press the save button,
as in just there you go. So now we know what faults. I can take that off.
Yeah.
And if you really want to print it off, and then you can compare the faults between the two from before and after if you like.
Yeah. So now we'll go clear all codes red.
It will try and clear things that aren't actually fitted.
Yeah, all the control units that can be fitted to one of these cars, the scanner will try and search for those control units, but it will realise it's not fitted and then move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Like trying to find a transfer box.
There we go. So, it's cleared codes in the engine, the ABS, airbag, air conditioning, electric fuel pump, electric immobiliser, power steering.
Every control unit.
Yeah.
You'll be there for a while otherwise.
Yeah. So we'll move that on, and then we'll now... Shall I cycle the ignition?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ignition has been cycled, and we'll now do a fresh code scan. See what comes up. So it's now looking like we've only got one fault in the ABS system, so that's a good sign.
And the engine.
And the engine.
Rather than the original 12.
Yeah.
Obviously, when Lee drives it, faults may come back.
Yeah.
So it's worth just clearing it. If you've had the car for a year and then you have a fault, there's no point just clearing the fault because you've had no work done. There's probably a fault with it. Because we don't know the history of the car, we don't want to start looking into things that there isn't really a fault there, and maybe it had a low battery voltage at some point that's caused some faults, or someone's been unplugging stuff and all that jazz.
Yeah. The other thing that made us think that some of the faults in the engine were maybe intermittent or sporadic was the engine light wasn't on with the engine running. So the issue that is in there, it's obviously not that much of an issue. The engine light only usually comes on when it's a fault that can affect the emissions of the engine.
Has to fault 3 times in a row in 3 separate drive cycles as well.
Yeah.
Consecutively. '94.
Getting there.
97.
Can Carly code out like TPMS?
No idea.
Mm.
There you go.
So there we go. We've got one fault now in the engine where we did have 12.
Yep.
We've got one fault in the ABS where we did have 5.
Yep.
And the others, it was only 1 or 2, I believe, that was detected. So what faults do we have? Scrolling down, engine, electric water pump communication. So again, I believe that's an auxiliary water pump. So I'm not too worried about that. The cooling system doesn't seem to be overheating. Although it does have that coolant leak from that return hose that I showed you earlier, so I'll be replacing that in due course. ABS, front right wheel spinning speed sensor. So that wasn't the one I was expecting to stay, I was expecting it to be the rear one. Secondary brake light, adaptive brake light left faulty. So maybe we've got a brake light out. Brake light right faulty. So again, maybe we've got 2 brake lights out.
Yeah, maybe.
Should probably check that. Communication with driver's side mirror disrupted. Interestingly, all the airbag faults have gone. But then we're not driving.
No, yeah. Because that was only on because it couldn't set wheel speed.
Yeah.
So if you save that again.
Yeah.
Then you know it was in there the second time.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, like I say, quick little video. You can see what faults are in the car that Lee's just bought. Obviously, he's going to drive it home. Probably drive it tomorrow. And then see what faults are reoccur and know what needs to be looked at and what doesn't need to be looked at.
Yeah, because there's pointless looking in
to a misfire that's not misfiring right now, but it's got a fault for a misfire.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
So
awesome.
If you don't know,
don't do it.
Oh,
sorry. We've ruined that. Right.
No, that's right.
Completely ruined. You want to try it again?
No, we're all
okay. That's fine.
We're real about it. Yeah. Cool. Right.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Thanks for watching again.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, ding a little ding.
And we'll see you next time on All the Gear.
Some idea.
Tatty Bumbles.
Bye bye.